Good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of SmartFox TV. Remember, if you do like our videos, please subscribe.
Hi, this is Sally, and to wrap up Women's History Month, which ended last week, we'll be talking about 15 influential women in history. First up, we have Sappho, who is one of the first known female writers whose poetry has been largely lost in history, unfortunately, but her reputation has remained. Plato called her one of the great 10 poets of his time. Cleopatra was the last Ptolemaic ruler of Egypt and defended Egypt from the Roman Empire. She formed relationships with two of Rome's most powerful leaders at the time, Mark Antony and Julius Caesar. Eleanor of Aquitaine, the first Queen of France, had two sons who went on to become kings of England. She was very beautiful and articulate and influenced Western European politics through her alliances. Joan of Arc was the patron saint of France who inspired a French revolt against the English. At just 17 years old, she successfully led the French to win in Orleans. Her martyrdom heightened her life story. Elizabeth I was the Queen of England during a time when England was going through many changes. She helped make it a Protestant country and oversaw the defeat of the Spanish Armada, making Britain one of the world's most dominant superpowers at the time. Jane Austen was one of the most famous female authors in the world, and many of her novels are still popular today, including Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and Northanger Abbey. She wrote during a time when female writers were not encouraged to do so. Sojourner Truth was an African-American abolitionist and women's rights advocate. Her famous speech, Ain't I a Woman?, explained in plain language how women were equal to men. Susan B. Anthony was an American campaigner against slavery and for women's and workers' rights. She toured the U.S. giving many speeches on human rights. Elizabeth Blackwell, originally from Britain, was the first woman to receive a medical degree in America and the first woman to be on the UK Medical Register at a time when women were not widely accepted as doctors. Emily Dickinson was one of America's greatest poets and lived most of her life alone and secluded. Her poems were published after she died and received lots of praise for its unique style. Marie Curie was a Polish-French scientist who became the first woman to receive the Nobel Prize and the first person to win the Nobel Prize for two separate categories. She was famous for her research into radioactivity and chemistry and helped develop the first X-ray machines. Helen Keller was an American social activist who became deaf and blind at 19 months. She overcame these challenges and campaigned tirelessly on behalf of deaf and blind people. Mother Teresa was an Albanian nun and charity worker who spent her life helping the poor. She became a global icon for service and personally cared for thousands of sick people. She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979. Anne Frank was a Dutch Jewish author whose diary is one of the most widely read books and is about a 13-year-old girl stuck in a secret hiding place during the Nazi Germany period. This was a diary on her own life. Audrey Hepburn was a British actress during the 1950s and 60s who was a trendsetter for women and was later voted one of the most beautiful women in the 20th century. After her acting career ended, she spent the remaining period of her life working for UNICEF. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to Sports Trivia Mondays. Which college basketball team has the most wins in March Madness? Is it Duke, Kentucky, or UCLA? Be back with the answer.
Hi, this is Sally with some good news. Today we have a great example of the phrase reduce, reuse, and recycle. A young Indian architect is turning tires into playful playgrounds all over India. Since the country disposes about 100 million tires a year, Pooja Raj is never short of building materials, and she's making kids' dreams into a reality using these tires. Raj runs Anthill Creations, a nonprofit that has built nearly 300 playgrounds in public places and schools. She believes that it's a child's right to play and has built playgrounds according to what the children want in the area. Using tires, she and her team of volunteers have made vehicles, animals, and play structures. Some playgrounds they have created include ocean themes for neighborhoods that are near the beach and boxing rings instead of jungle gyms for others. To make these playgrounds, Raj and her team first collects, inspects, and cleans tires. Although they are strong, cheap, and pretty safe, recycled tires may collect dangerous materials from use. After inspection, they paint them and drill holes in them to let out any rainwater. They are then assembled into designs according to what the local children want. Her nonprofit Anthill Creations runs almost entirely on donations, with small playground projects costing almost $1,000 and larger ones about $4,000. About 800 volunteers help collect donations and build the playgrounds from the tires. Ross shares that it's been a joyful experience to be able to make playgrounds for kids to enjoy everywhere. She believes that it's important for children to be able to play, something that is seen as a luxury more and more in this busy world. I hope you enjoyed today's good news.
The team with the most wins in March Madness is Kentucky. Kentucky has a total of 129 wins in March Madness tournament. Thanks for playing Sports Trivia Mondays.
This is Kim, and thanks for watching SmartFox TV. Stay foxy!